Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, let me say we are taking this very seriously. I think we have members in ABTA who are not only use airlines but operate airlines, and if it is not yet an existential threat, if we don't do something, it will be seen as an existential threat to tourism for us. Just to give you an idea of the scale, air passenger numbers have trebled in the UK since 1990. It was 100 million then. It's now, just before COVID, was 297 million a year. Although the global statistics may say that aviation accounts for sort of 2.4% of emissions, in the UK it's 8%. Because, as you say, we're an island. There aren't very many ways of getting off it in large numbers. And so aviation is already a significant contributor to emissions. If you look at growth forecasts through to 2050, it varies. The government says it's going to grow by 49%, and the industry says 70%. I think the industry always kind of ups the expectations, but whatever you're looking at, it's a very substantial growth in numbers, and most of that is leisure travel. 83% of air passenger movements are to do with people travelling. So you put all that together, and it is obviously a crucial issue for us and for the destinations that we fly to. As I say, we are taking it very seriously for three reasons, I'd say. One, because it's the right thing to do. I think climate change and decarbonisation is a priority for everybody, including our industry. Secondly, we want customers to feel good about going on holiday, and we don't want flight shame or other sort of movements to stop people having the good experiences they have. And thirdly, I think there's a perception that if we are not seen to be making strong progress, then taxation and other measures will be put in place to effectively raise the cost of flying and slow down demand that way, which is not what we want. I mean, we believe that we can meet, the government in the UK has a net zero target by 2050. We can believe we can do that within our growth ambitions, but a lot of progress has to be made technologically. Obviously, it's an international issue. The EU has got its Fit for 55, which is about reducing carbon emissions by 55%. They're already starting to tax kerosene, the main airline fuel, removing emissions allowances for aviation, and have set their own target for 63% of aviation to be fueled by sustainable aviation fuels by 2050. So that's the market that we're flying into. The UK government is very supportive of aviation, I would say. And they understand that for an economy like ours, which is an island economy, very much a hub, as well as a sort of leisure movement island, aviation is a very important strategic sector. And so the industry, private sector is working with the government, with the public sector, with people who manage the airspace, air traffic control, and so forth, across a number of fronts. Without going into all the detail, the UK is going to be having its own emissions trading system, which will match the European ones. So there'll be a kind of carbon pricing that is equivalent. Government wants 5 sustainable aviation plants up and at least commence building by 2025. We are setting our own target for net zero for airports and for domestic travel by 2040. And the government's putting its money behind its words in terms of investment into, we've got an Aviation Technology Institute. They put about 800 million euros into that, and about 200 million euros into getting sustainable aviation fuels up and running. And also, importantly, we're looking at how we can sort of nudge consumer behaviour to help in this, whether it's about using public transport to get to airports rather than cars, and so on and so forth. So, broad-based approach to this. Very much, as I say, bringing together the public and the private sector to meet this aggressive target.